If I stand back a bit, I'll stand up.
No, it's in the way of the camera, mate.
It's in the way of the camera. Where's the camera here?
That's camera. Okay, we're live as well.
Up we are. Okay. Yep. We all good? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming down here. My name's Phil Cronin. I am the Mayor of the City of Busselton, and I am dressed like this because I did actually go out there and put the hose on a few houses. Firstly, I have to say that we have not lost any property, so I can ease. And I have to commend everyone who's been involved in getting together so quickly, from St John's, DFS, the city, the police, everybody. We've charged down here. We've also had Bunbury down here, Augusta, Margaret River, so I'll shout out to those mayors and shire presidents for their support as well in getting so much help down here. We obviously had the heli attacks down here, so I got a little bit wet as well. But look, it's a community that brings us together to do things like this to make sure that we're all safe. Obviously, the priority after that was to make sure that the properties were saved. And I believe everyone here has worked extremely hard to do such a good job. So firstly, I'd like to thank you. And I understand I saw some people evacuating their houses, and I wasn't told that I should say we'll look after your house, but luckily we did. Yeah, look, I understand it was a very stressful moment when we were driving down here and looking at that smoke. It was quite something. So thank you, everyone. What I'll do is get each person here just to introduce themselves. They're probably sitting down because we're on a live stream and it's a bit difficult. I've had to stand back and I'm shorter than these guys. So if they are sitting, I do apologise, but they're all taller than me. So anyway, I'll hand over to Philip if you'd like to introduce yourself first. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Phil Brandon. I'm the Superintendent for DFS, the Lower South West region, and a considerable number of our staff involved in this incident.
My name's Peter Thomas. I'm the District Officer for the Capes area that looks after this patch, and I'm the Incident Controller as well for the incident.
Again, I'm Tony Noddle. I'm the CEO of the City of Busselton, and looking more thanks to everyone for coming into the community evacuation centre. It's been quite orderly and well done. Thank you.
John Adams. I'm the Officer in charge of Dunsborough Police. We're here as a support agency to DFS.
Thanks, guys. Well, I might start off with giving you a bit of a history of what's happened. But first of all, I want to say a big thanks to all of you, because I think what's shown is how well you enacted your bushfire plans and that you actually got out of the area, got to somewhere safe, and it allowed our crews then to do the job and protect the properties. It really makes a big difference when people do that and put their plans in. So well done to all of you for doing that as well. So a bit of history about the fire. So the fire started today at 12:45. The initial crews that responded, we actually have a pretty rapid response in this area where we send brigades from all services. So we have the fire and rescue, the bushfire brigade, parks and wildlife, and also all the air resources mobilised. And I think that makes a big difference, or it definitely does make a big difference on keeping these fires a lot more compacted and smaller, and also allowing us to get into position to protect the properties as we did. It is quite challenging in the conditions we had, the winds driving the fire and burning through that bushland there. But as I said, the amazing effort from the volunteers, and I'll highlight a few of them. We've got the bushfire brigades, which the Mayor here, Phil's a member of in the City of Busselton area. We also had neighbouring Shire, Augusta, Margaret River, sent across bushfire brigades. We've got the fire and rescue within the community here of Dunsborough and Busselton coming in. We also had the career firefighters from Bunbury come across as well. We had Parks and Wildlife here, our staff from DFS. We've got SES volunteers out there now helping organise our catering and look after our logistical supply. The help from all the other services, including the police and all that, it's just been outstanding. And I think that's what's really made a big difference in us being able to achieve what we did. In total, we had about 120 firefighters on the fire ground. So quite a few firefighters doing that. And as you can see, I'll talk about feeding as well. That's an important part. So that's why we've got the SES in helping us with that. So it's a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes that a lot of get recognised for. So there's some amazing work by other people in our team supporting our firefighters on the front line. Aerial resources we mentioned, that does play a big part. Luckily, we've got our rotary, the helicopters nearby, and we have our fixed wings, which are our airplanes, to come in as well to help contain that fire, and that supported the crews on the ground to achieve the objectives we had. The fire started west of Cape Naturalist Road. We're investigating the cause. We don't know it yet. We've actually got a fire investigator coming down to have a look and look into that. If anyone has any other information, if they can pass it on through the police, if they did see anything or any information on that, it will help out immensely. But like I said, it'll take a little while for us to figure out how it started. So our investigator will work on that. Cape Care, I've got to say, Cape Care did an amazing job themselves enacting their bushfire plan. They ended up, it was too late as the fire moved so rapidly, they had to stay in situ, but with their plan enacted, the way the facility is and our crews in place, we were able to defend that quite well. The other one, the emergency warning that was put out. So that was put out and we had a evacuate. So people, obviously you came here to the centre and once again, thank you so much. We've downgraded that now to a watch and act. You would have seen that. The statement we have on that now is to avoid the area. But I've actually got some good news that we're opening up majority of the roads. There's only going to be one, and I'll talk about it at the end, that we've got some restrictions on until we make sure it's safe. So a bit of an understanding about what we do and why we can't let people back in so quick is obviously the fire. The risk of the fire is one. Firefighters working the ground, there's a risk to them. So we don't want to get them hurt. And sadly, we have in the past seen that. So we want to make sure we protect them. And then the other thing is protecting yourselves. So when you go back in, there may be dangerous trees. So we don't want you going back in if the trees haven't been inspected. There may be power infrastructure damage. So we want to make sure that that's all right. So we work closely with Western Power, ensuring that's all safe. And then obviously there's other risks and other hazards that we have to make sure are safe. So what we're doing at the present time, the last road that is of concern for us is being walked by firefighters. And when they say walking, they'll go up and down the road, literally walking it, looking for those hazards, making sure the road's safe, and then we'll hand it over to local government to open up. So once that's done, I'm pretty confident by 10 o'clock tonight we'll have the last of the road open and maybe even beforehand. And I'll go through those roads in a minute. We said the amazing work done by the firefighters. So just a bit of a perspective on what we had. So we looked at the impact area and the number of properties there. We had about 2,000 residents in this area that was impacted by this fire. And out of that, we've lost no houses. So I think we've got to focus on the positives here, and the effort done by the fire crews, really challenging circumstances, was outstanding. And like I said, all of those crews I mentioned before have done some amazing effort, including all the people behind the scenes as well. We have got some minor damage to some things like fences and things like that, and obviously there'll be a bit of impact to the wildlife and the bush there. That they'll obviously be looking at that in a recovery stage. So we are aware of that, and we're working closely with DVCA, Department of Parks and Wildlife, and we'll be identifying any of those issues and obviously offering support where we can for the animals that have been impacted. Total fire area is about 40 hectares, so that's what we ended up containing it to. They were doing a little bit of burning out pockets. That's where they will go and light fire to make sure it's safe, and so we've had crews working on that. But like I said, at the moment, the fire is contained, and I'm comfortable, I reckon, by 10 o'clock tonight, it'll be contained and controlled. So like I said, once again, amazing effort to everyone involved. I don't know if you can see the map behind me. Most of you know the roads in here. I'll try and keep in the picture for those online. Very hard to see here. There are some more maps up here. You can come and have a look closer. I apologise for the size of the map. But the orange area here is where the fire started, west of Cape Naturalist, driven by the southwester. It ran this way into the parkland, which is behind Marrie Drive. So if you all know where the fire station and St John Ambulance is, so just behind that, it went through there. Cameraman's...
Sorry, I was trying to help.
Yeah. Went behind there, and then even spotted a little bit over. So spotting's when embers fly over and then ignite another fire separate to it, which is very challenging for us, as you can imagine. And that was behind the Cape Care area. So they were the areas that got impacted by the fire. So we obviously closed a number of roads around there, as I said before, to protect the firefighters, to protect yourselves, and allow us to do our job safely. We've opened up the Gifford Road, meaning people can get through there now, all the way through to Bunker Bay and out. The last road we've closed now is Marrie Drive, between Naturalist Road and Naturalist Terrace, Cape Naturalist Road and Naturalist Terrace. That is the one that we're walking at present. That's the one that we can't get people back into at the moment. Everywhere else, you can go back. But if you're on the Marrie Drive, I'm afraid we're just going to have to leave it a little bit longer. And like I said before, that's just for the reasons why, to protect you, protect our crews, make sure the road's safe. But I'm very confident that we'll have that open very soon, at the latest 10 o'clock tonight. All right, thank you. Do you want to speak?
So are there any questions that anybody has? No?
Basically, then we can go back to our.
Yes.
Apart from Mary.
Apart from Mary Drive, yes. I just exercise the caution.
Drive back to us.
We can't get down. Okay.
No, that's all been open. It's only Mary. Yeah. Oh, hang on. No, it is. Sorry, it is
Yeah,
still
sorry.
closed. Sorry. Sorry, I'll stand corrected. Cape Naturalist Drive is closed from Martingale. I think it's Martingale up to Hanson. So that means you just can't drive down that road. And the same with Naturalist Terrace, and that's closed from Mary Drive up to Newberry. Thank you, Adam. So that just means it's just those, you'll have to find alternate ways around, but you can get into your homes. The only homes you can't get into is the Mary Drive homes until we rectify that road.
Sorry, can,
In Mary Drive, the Martingale you can get into. So the roads block that Cape Naturalist Terrace is the only one blocked from Martingale. So you can go into Martingale. That's all fine, yeah.
so you guys.
Yeah, I will, yeah. And the other thing I just want to stress the importance of, we're obviously opening all this up. You're really keen to get back and see your homes. Can I just say, be cautious, watch out. There are fire crews still moving around the area. So just drive with care. And yeah, if there's any other questions, I suppose speak up now and we can.
Are there any other questions?
You said Mara Drive is closed. Those on the other side of that reserve, the bushland, they're all fine?
They're all fine to go back in,
So
as long as you go by that Gifford Road.
So just come down here, up that way and then
Yeah.
through there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any other questions? Yes, is it safe to, well, I would like to
Yes.
say, yes, it is safe. We've got there'll be crews out all night. They'll be keeping an eye on the place. If there's any flare-ups, there'll be, so no.
I'll just add to that. So I'll just add, just keep on monitoring as you do normally, be aware. If we have to trigger an alert up, if something was to happen, then obviously it'd be as normal process to emergency WA, ABC radio. We'd be pushing that out if we had to. But I would say the chances of that are extremely slim. So.
Another question?
Sorry, do the alerts only come on the website like that? They're not being texted to anyone? So it's not a text message?
Yeah, I can talk on that. So when we put out an emergency warning, that can go out via text message. So we use a system that will send it out by mobile phones in the area and addresses to anyone who's got property in that area. So you will get a text for that. But what I've got to say is don't always rely on that information. So, because sadly, sometimes mobile messages may not get through. We know what mobile networks can sometimes be like. You've got to make sure you've got other means of gaining that information and being aware of what's happening. So especially during the day when we've got bad fire weather, that's where just being aware of it, listening out to the radio, keeping an eye on emergency WA, get the emergency WA app, set that up so you get notifications from that as well. But don't just rely on one means of getting information, have multiple sources.
Lady over there.
I saw the first 15 minutes of the fire start with on just the other side of Robertson. Is there anybody here that I may not have useful information, but is there a...
Probably afterwards, come and talk to me and I'll put you in contact with someone. Yes, I'll get your details.
And if anybody else saw anything suspicious, then please let us know as well.
And photos, videos always helps.
Yes, thank you.
Do Parks and Wildlife need any volunteers to help them with the wildlife at all, or taking a roster or something like that?
Over the back there, we've got parks, yeah.
So we actually have some cameras on standby overnight, and there'll be details at the control point if there's any animals that do get to come in from the firefighters, bringing them into the recording overnight. There's carers, wildlife carers on standby, so we should run overnight.
And others that have cared or whatever, you want volunteers as well?
I think it's still starting to grow, okay? There's capacity to flow around the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. We just need to repeat that, probably for the people online.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll just repeat that for the people online. Did you, Peter? I might need you to come up here and explain what you said then. And I've actually got a secondary question. If people get home and they find an injured animal, you know, maybe in the garage or something, what should they do? So if you can just stand behind there. Yeah.
I'm Claire from Parks and Wildlife. So there is Geo Bay Wildlife Rescue actually has a number of carers on standby, and they have a capacity tonight for a number of animals. So we have a single point of contact coming back through the incident for any animals that come off the fire ground. It's not safe for people to go looking for animals on the fire ground at the moment, so it's important that doesn't happen. But any animals that do come in tonight should be well taken care of. And then after tomorrow, we'll just way to manage any wildlife you do find is they do need to go to a vet, but you can ring the Wildcare helpline. And there's always volunteers on the Wildcare helpline who can advise which vet and they can put you in touch with a carer, so that on an ongoing basis after the next 24 hours, that will be the way to deal with any wildlife. And DBCR, we're monitoring the situation as well and bringing extra carers on standby if necessary. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
I suppose just to add to that, so
Yeah.
Claire was mentioning our control point. So just in case you're not aware of where that is, that's at the footy oval down there. So that's where we're running our operations and controlling the incident from. So there's a number of the staff, including myself, working out of there with volunteers as well. So that's where you could get that information from if you needed.
Sure. And I'd like to really make the point, do not go into those reserves. I've experienced those fires and getting around forests. It's the biggest injury is trees breaking. They might still be burning, and if they fall on you, it's not a good thing. So please do not go into those reserves yet. The ground underneath is really hot. So yeah, just be safe. Don't try and save animals for that reason. Thank you.
We haven't got any other questions. Otherwise, I want to make a big mention to the Department of Communities for the effort of setting up the evacuation centre here, along with the City of Busselton as well. I think everyone works so well together, so thank you for that. But is there anything you want to mention to the people here, or I suppose getting an idea of who is staying? Obviously, there will be a number of people staying still.
If you've got any issues, just come and see us afterwards, and we can chat through. If anybody is concerned and needing to stay, just come and have a chat with us, and we can make a plan and work something out for you.
And one last thing does everyone have transport, or does anyone need transport? I just get an idea if people are stuck. I'm aware of a certain group here that could do with some more clothes as well. Hence the towel keeping you warm. So there's no one else. Everyone else is good. Just wanted to check. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Questions? No one monitoring that.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. You happy? Sorry, guys. I've just realised there's a few questions here. Can you go to Cape Care? Yes, you can. You can go and check on family members. There was not 3 household properties burnt down, so I'm just answering some questions. The fire is now under control. The fire is contained. Sorry, please turn on live caption. Sorry about that. We should have done that. Is there any? Camera there. Thank you. No, I think, yeah, sorry. If anything else, just reach out to the city or the police. I hope that was useful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.